He's lost 2 pounds.
So they're going to straighten me out. I'll be taller. Probably a lot taller.
Let's look at down
Isn't it fun to be here?
You know, last week,
Right in town? So what kind of art? So what style art?
You want to recreate your work, doesn't she?
mainly
They'll just have exhibits.
You are you're multi-talented. You just wherever.
Oh, I see. So it's local artists. So they'll continue the programming that they had when they were in the other locations.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. My name is Jay Kerr. I welcome you to the Cabaret at Fort Salem Theater. You win the award as the most punctual cabaret audience. Wow! You were all set to go at 7:45, and delighted to have you all here. It's always my job to tell you what's coming up, as long as we have a captive audience. Next weekend, we have seven members of one family singing, playing instruments, dancing. Has anybody seen the famous Kimmer Lamotte chair dance?
Yes.
I hear there may be a reprise of that. So tell your friends. If you haven't seen the chair dance, you should come next weekend. I'll just say that. This is one cabaret where the wives will have husbands happy to come. So I'll say no more. You may see a chair dance. You're going to see some sort of dance on the same pedestal that the chair dance was done 4 years ago. The following weekend, the singing anchors, which are alphabetically Jerry Gretzinger. Let's hear it for Jerry. Jessica Layton and Benita Zahn, the singing anchors, will be doing their annual Christmas show. They will have had 2 dress rehearsals at the Racino in Saratoga Springs with so many lights you can't have. Have any of you seen a show at the they have like 1 million lights, so they'll be slumming on December 1st. There are 2 shows December 1st, one at 5, one at 8. 5 o'clock is sold out, so if you do not have tickets and want to come, you're coming at 8. Just let me know. Now here we are for this show. This is a show of 80s music. Jerry is going to talk about how it all happened. I have to tell you that I work with many people. Jerry is among the easiest to work with whom I've ever worked. In that he's the age of my oldest child, I can say he's a fine young man. He is needlessly humble. He learns his lyrics. Oh, I'm cursing him today. He learns his lyrics, and he's charming to watch. So enjoy the show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the cabaret at Fort Salem Theater is proud to present Jerry Gretzinger.
Look at what's happened to me. I can't believe it myself. Suddenly I'm upon top of the world. Should have been somebody else. believe it or not. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. It's me. Believe it or not. Don't wish it away. Don't look at it like it's forever. Between you and me, I can honestly say that things can only get better. And while I'm away, bust out the demons inside, and it won't be long till you and me run to the place in our hearts where we hide. And I guess that's why they call it the blues. Time on my hands could be time spent with you, laughing like children, living like lovers, rolling like thunder under the covers. And I guess that's why they call it the blues. Just stare into space, picture your face in my hands. Live for each second without hesitation, and never forget I'm your man. While I'm away, cry in the night if it helps. More than ever, I simply love you more than I love life itself. And I guess that's why they call it the blues. Time on my hands can be time spent with you, laughing like children, living like lovers, rolling like thunder under the covers. And I guess that's why they call it the blues. Laughing like children, living like lovers. And I guess that's why they call it the blues. Laughing like children, living like lovers. And I guess that's why they call it the blues. Good evening, everybody. Welcome again to the Fort Salem Theater, the great cabaret here. And yeah, you know, I got to give a little explanation for some stuff here. Yeah, it was after the Singing Anchors on Broadway this past summer. Anybody see that show? Singing Anchors on Broadway? Thank you for coming. Afterwards, Jay and I were talking, and we said, well, what's next? So I said, well, you got the cabarets, let's do more Sinatra. And Jay went, why? People would come to that. But seriously, he said, why don't we try something different? We've done a lot of Sinatra, let's try something different. Well, he said different, and I came clean as to how I really enjoyed the Broadway show Rock of Ages, which was all the music of my youth, all these big bands from the 80s, you know, the 80s tunes that were in it. And Jay just stopped and looked at me and said, there was good music in the 80s? But I pled my case and I said, Jay, yeah, it was fun, it was cheesy. And that's all he needed to hear. Because the wheels started turning. And he goes, cheesy, cheese, wait, cheese, what goes with cheese? A ham! Ham and cheese and a cabaret was born. But so we went through the 80s and we found all the best songs, chose to do these instead. And I'm even trying to do the whole costume thing here. I got my khakis on, the no socks with the shoes, the white jacket, the like. Who am I supposed to be? Anybody? But yes, Don Johnson, Miami Vice. I think that was my son who knew. So he was like, Dad, what are you wearing? Anyway. So there were a lot of artists in the 80s. We said there was some good music for sure. A lot of those great artists had already been on the scene. Elton John's certainly one of them. Another, Billy Joel. And one of his biggest hits in the 80s was Uptown Girl. And you can't help hearing the song without thinking of his Uptown Girl, Christy Brinkley. And I'm sure his song had better staying power than uptown girl, she's been living in her uptown world. I bet you never had a backstreet guy. I bet her mama never told her why. I'm gonna try for an uptown girl. She's been living in her white pretty world as long as anyone with hot blood can. And now she's looking for a downtown man. That's what I am. And when she knows what she wants from her time, and when she wakes up and makes up her mind, she'll see I'm not so tough just because I'm in love with an uptown girl. She's been living in her white bread world. She's getting tired of her high-class toys and all the presents from her uptown boys. She's got a choice, and when she's walking, she's looking so fine. And when she's talking, she'll say that she's mine. She'll say I'm not so tough just because I'm in love with an uptown girl. You know I can't afford to buy her pearls, but maybe someday when my ship comes in, she'll understand what kind of guy I am. That's when I wait for my uptown girl. She's my uptown girl. You know I'm in love with an uptown girl. She's my uptown girl. You know I'm in love with an uptown girl. I feel so unsure as I take your hand and lead you to the dance floor. As the music dies, something in your eyes calls to mind a silver screen, and you're its sad goodbye. I'm never gonna dance again, guilty feet have got no rhythm. Though it's easy to pretend, I know you're not a fool. Should've known better than to cheat a friend and waste the chance that I've been given. So I'm never gonna dance again the way I dance with you. Time can never melt the careless whispers of a good friend. To the heart and mind, ignorance is blind. There's no comfort in the truth. Pain is about all you'll find. I'm never gonna dance again, guilty feet have got no rhythm. Though it's easy to pretend, I know you're not a fool. Should've known better than to cheat a friend and waste the chance that I've been given. So I'm never gonna dance again the way I dance with you. Tonight the music seems so loud. I wish that we could lose this crowd. Maybe it's better this way. We hurt each other with the things we want to say. We could have been so good together. We could have lived this dance forever. Now who's gonna dance with me? Please dance. Guilty feet have got no rhythm. Though it's easy to pretend, I know you're not a fool. Should've known better than to cheat a friend and waste the chance that I've been given. So I'm never gonna dance again the way I danced with you. The way I danced with you. So you remember George Michael? George Michael Webb, she's just like, oh yes, oh yes. You remember her pretty well. Wham, I mean, they were huge for a while. Some of the songs we were going through, we had books and books of music, and one of the songs that we realized was a big hit was I Want Your Sex. Didn't think it was really appropriate.
you know, for it is Anchorage with all this day of cell phone video cameras and things. And you know what else was? Well, we wanted to keep it family friendly, you know. And then Olivia Newton-John did "Let's Get Physical." That was such a hit. You remember that one? Yeah, Google the lyrics on that tomorrow. Talk about creepy coming from me. So we dropped that one, and we decided to stick with wholesome. On that note, back in the 80s, my dad had been for a few years then a high school English teacher, and he directed all the shows in the high school. And he got a call from a former student of his who was now working in the film industry. And he said, "Mr. Gretzinger, hey, I thought you might be interested. We're coming to Ulster County to film a major motion picture. Would you and your family like to come to the set and check it out?" I said, "Sure, that'd be great. I think my kids would love it," me and my sister. So it was down in the Ulster County area. There was an old farmhouse where they were going to be shooting this major motion picture. And that motion picture was Tootsie. Whoa. Yeah, okay, so people remember Tootsie. And I heard the cast list, the people who we could expect to see. Dustin Hoffman, great, really exciting. Charles Durning, wow, okay, he's a huge star at the time. And Jessica Lange. I'm just becoming a teenager at the time. Jessica Lange is coming to town. I get to meet Jessica Lange. Any Hollywood starlet for a 12, 13-year-old is something, but Jessica Lange, ooh, I was ready, okay? So we went to the farmhouse that day, and we're there in the morning. There's a crowd of people, not that big, so it was a nice small group. But first, we see Dustin Hoffman coming towards us. And what a great guy. He comes over and says hi to everybody. He's taking pictures, signing autographs, spent about a good 10 minutes with us. And then he says, before he leaves, "Have you met Jessica yet?" Not yet. No, but I'm waiting. And he says, "She's a real sweetheart." Okay? So he goes off and does his thing. Next, Charles Durning. Again, he's great with the crowd. He's signing autographs, he's shaking hands, he's spending time with us, and the same thing. "Have you met Jessica yet?" "Oh, they're playing with me." "No, I haven't met Jessica yet." "She's a real sweetheart." Same line. "She's a real sweetheart." So can I be more excited at this point? They're like building it up for me. Then, just like out of the movie itself, in the distance I see Jessica Lange walking towards the group. She gets within about 5 feet of us, stops, stares right at me and my family, turns to her handler, whatever, and says, "I'm not in the mood for this. I don't want to talk to them." And she turns and walks away. And I just thought, she's a real sweetheart. Thankfully, it didn't affect how much I enjoyed the movie. It's still a good movie. And I also enjoyed its theme song.
Time, I've been passing time watching trains go by. All of my life, lying on the sand watching seabirds fly. Wishing there would be someone waiting home for me. Something's telling me it might be you. It's telling me it might be you. All of my life, looking back as lovers go walking past. All of my life, wondering how they met and what makes it last. If I found the place, would I recognize the face? Something's telling me it might be you. It's telling me it might be you. So many quiet walks to take, so many dreams to wake, and there's so much love to make. I think we're gonna need some time. Maybe all we need is time. And it's telling me it might be you all of my life. All of my life, singing silly love songs and lullabies. And there's so much more no one's ever heard before. Something's telling me it might be you. It's telling me it must be you. And I'm feeling it'll just be you all of my life. Maybe it's you, maybe it's you. I this endless ocean, finding lovers know no shame. Turning and returning to some secret place inside, watching in slow motion as you turn around and sing, take my breath away. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Watching, I keep waiting, still anticipating love. Always anticipating, always anticipating love. Turning and returning to some secret place inside, watching in slow motion as you turn to me to say, my love, take my breath away. Every single day, and every word you say, every night you stay, every game you play, I'll be watching you. Oh, can't you see you belong to me? How my heart aches with every step you take, watching every motion in this foolish lover's game, haunted by the notion somewhere there's a love in flames, turning and returning to some secret place inside, watching in slow motion as you turn around and say, take my breath away. Take my breath away. Take my breath away. Since you've been gone, I've been lost without a trace. I sleep at night, I can only see your face. I look around and it's you I can't replace. I feel so cold and I long for your embrace. Every move you make, every vow you break, every smile you fake, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Take my breath away. Every breath you take my breath away.
You know what? I guess it's safe to say back in the 80s, I think about it, in 1980, I was 8 years old. 1990, I was 18. There's a lot of development that happens in those 10 years of life, right, isn't there? Well, to say that the opposite sex played a role in that, I guess that would be accurate. And, as I look back, you often think that young guys in those years, when they're coming into their teenage years, getting ready to go off to college, they think, oh, I'm just going to date lots of different girls. I'm going to play the field, I didn't really do that too much, now that I reflect back. I was always looking for someone who I could spend time with. It wasn't like a quick, let's go out and have fun and go to a party or go to a movie. It was, I want to find somebody who has those qualities that you might want to find in someone you might hang around with for a while. So all my relationships lasted a long time. And, I guess we tried to single out a few of those when we decided to sing this next number.
To all the girls I've loved before, who've traveled in and out my door, I'm glad they came along. I dedicate this song to all the girls I loved before. girls I've once caressed. And may I say I've held the best. For helping me to grow, I owe a lot, I know, to all the girls I've loved before. The winds of change are always blowing, and each time I try to stay, the winds of change continue blowing, and they carry me away. Alright, so first story, Madeline. She's the first girl I ever really met in high school, okay? And I guess you could say she was instrumental in my development as an adolescent to prepubescent type. Turns out she was instrumental for a lot of other guys too, but my father knew that right away when he saw her, and he was not a big fan. And he made that very clear. He had no problem letting us know. Anyway, as I said before, he directed the musicals in high school. So one day, after one of the matinees, I was in the boys' locker room, last one always was, cleaning my makeup off. And Madeline came in to see how I was making out. We were about to go to the diner with everybody. She wanted to know, are you almost ready? She walks in. No sooner does she walk in than Dad walks in. He sees me and her in the locker room, not happy. What does he do? He chases her. Chased her out of the locker room. He chased her out of the school. Chased her into the parking lot where she'd gotten into her car, and then he chased her car out into the street. That was pretty much the end of that relationship. But I can tell you this, today Madeline is married to Chris, I think, and they have a couple of kids of their own, so they're very happy. That's great. Then, we'll move on to college now, and there was Christine. And again, Christine had those qualities. I said, oh, I like spending time with this girl, this could work out. And towards the end of the semester, I said, Christine, I'll come help you move your stuff into your car and take it home for the summer. Oh, great, I'll see you there. So as I approached her townhouse later that afternoon, I saw another young man helping her in her car. It's a big college campus, there's other guys, don't think anything of it until I get closer and she looks up and smiles and, oh, Jerry, this is great timing. I wanted to introduce you to my at-home boyfriend, Tom. Tom, this is my at-school boyfriend, Jerry. Hee hee hee, Tom and Jerry, she says. Yeah, that's what I thought too. But you know what? She and Tom are still married today. So, good for them. They have a couple of kids as well. Last story I'll share is about Virginia. Virginia, another college girlfriend. And we've been dating for a while when she came to me with this news. I want to study abroad in France for a semester. Oh gosh, well, what are we going to do? There's always that long distance question when you're in college. Can you handle a long distance relationship? But she said, oh yes, absolutely. When I come back, it'll be like I never left. We'll hit the ground running. It'll be like I never left. When I get back, it'll be great. The key part of that was that she had to come back. She didn't come back. And she's married to Jean-Pierre Paul, something like that. And they've got some croissants and a few poodles that are very good. What can you do? To all the girls who shared my life, who now are someone else's wife, I'm glad they came along. I dedicate this song to all the girls I loved before. The winds of change are always blowing, and each time I try to stay, the winds of change continue blowing, and they carry me away. So again, I dedicate this song to Madeline and Chris, to Christine and Tom, and to Virginia and Jean-Paul, whatever, and all of their children, and may they have many happy years together. And if they don't, I also dedicate this song to Andrea, my divorce attorney. Yeah, that's something, you know. Now, you can't do a show about the 80s without, throwing some props to the king of pop, Michael Jackson. And we'll hear from him at least once or twice tonight with this song right now. You think about lyrics for songs and the meanings behind them. In the 80s, there wasn't a whole lot of depth. But you take apart some of Michael Jackson's songs, okay, there are some like Thriller, and you look at it and go, okay, it's a zombie party, I get it, there's not much to it. But then, there's a song like this one, Billie Jean. Everybody danced to it, everybody moved, people played it on the radio, it was a huge hit. But
how many people stopped and said, wait, what did he say? Wait, what? It's about two creeps. You got a creep guy and a creep girl, and somebody had a kid, and they're trying to figure out whose father of this kid here. Whose father is it? Who's the father? Do you know, Jay?
I don't know.
But I don't think anybody would have guessed it was Michael Jackson.
Who's not the father?
I know who's not the father, right? But he's saying. So maybe for the first time, we'll listen to the lyrics of Billie Jean. She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean that I am the one? Who'll dance on the floor and around. She said, I am the one who'll dance on the floor and around. She told me her name was Billie Jean, and she caused a scene. Then every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one who'll dance on the floor and around. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love. Be careful what you do, because a lie becomes a truth. Hey, Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She claims I am the one. But the kid is not my son. For 40 days and for 40 nights, love was on her side. But who can stand when she's in demand her schemes and plans? Cause we danced on the floor and around. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice. She told my baby we danced till 3, and she looked at me. Then showed a photo of my baby cried. His eyes were like mine. And we danced on the floor and around. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. But you came and stood right by me with a smell of sweet perfume. And this happened far too soon. She brought me to her room. Hey, Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She claims I am the one. But the kid is not my son. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not mine. Billie Jean is not my lover. You know, we also looked at all the music from the decade and realized, you know, wait, what was the 80s? You know, we knew the 70s was disco, but in the 80s, a lot of artists were kind of clamoring back for a bygone era, I think, of rock and roll. And we found a lot of people longing for that, and we put it all together. I love rock and roll. Just put some old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to it by myself. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time rock and roll. What's the matter with the clothes I'm wearing? Can't you tell that your tie's too wide? Should I get myself some old tab collars? Welcome back to the age of jive. Where have you been hiding out lately, honey? Get dressed trashily, you spend a lot of money. Everybody's talking about the new sound funny, but it's still rock and roll to me. Don't even take me to a disco. You won't even get me out on the floor. In 10 minutes I'll be late for the door. I like that old time rock and roll. What's the matter with the car I'm driving? Can't you tell that it's out of style? Should I get a set of white wool tires, or you gonna cruise the Miracle Mile? Nowadays you
sentimental. Your best bet's true, baby blue, continental. Hot, funny, cool punk, even if it's old junk, it's still rock and roll to me. Oh, it doesn't matter what they say in the papers, 'cause it's always been the same old scene. There's a new band in town, but you can't get the sound from a story in a magazine. Ain't that your average teen? Marconi plays the mambo. Listen to the radio. Don't you remember we built this city? We built this city on rock and roll. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city. Built this city on rock and roll. New York isn't everything they say. There's no place that I'd rather be. Where else can you do a 500,000 things all at a quarter to three? When they play that music, ooh, that modern music, they're packed with a lifestyle, but it's still that same old rock and roll rhythm that really, really drives them wild. They say the heart of rock and roll is still beating, and from what I've seen, I believe them. Well, the soul boy may be barely breathing, but the heart of rock and roll is still beating. Call me rebellic, call me what you will. Say I'm old fashioned, say I'm over the hill. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time rock and roll. DC, San Antonio, and the Liberty Town, Boston or Baton, Tulsa, Austin, Oklahoma City, Seattle, San Francisco too. When they play that music, ooh, that modern music, bands with a million styles, but it's still that same old rock and roll rhythm that really, really drives them wild. They say the heart of rock and roll is still beating, and from what I've seen, I believe them. Well, this old boy may be barely breathing, but the heart of rock and roll, the heart of rock and roll is still beating. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Everybody's talking about the new sound, funny, but it's still rock and roll to me. I love rock and roll, so come on, take an hour and dance with me. 'Cause the heart of rock and roll is still beating.
So we go from people who wanted rock and roll to something a little different. As we talked about what to fill the show with, we wanted variety. And I said, I wasn't a big follower of it, but I said, what about country music? There was country music in the 80s. Country seems to have been in every decade. So we picked out one of the country songs that came out that kind of really hit the mainstream. I think even Buckwheat did a recording of it, at least on Saturday Night Live. If you remember, he was looking for love.
Well, I spent a lifetime looking for you. Single bars and good time lovers were never true. Playing a fool's game, hoping to win. Telling those sweet lies and losing again. I was looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in too many faces, searching their eyes, looking for
trace is what I'm dreaming of. Now that I've found a friend and a lover, I'll bless the day I discovered you. Oh, you, looking for love in all the wrong places, in too many faces, searching their eyes and looking for traces of what I'm dreaming of. Now that I've found a friend and a lover, I'll bless the day I discovered you. Oh, you looking for love, no more looking for love. Tommy used to work on the docks. Union's been on strike. He's down on his luck. It's tough, so tough. Gina works the diner all day, working for men. She brings home her pay for love, for love. She says we gotta hold on to what we've got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We got each other, and that's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot. Oh, we're halfway there. Live it up, pray, take my hands. We'll make it, I swear. Live it up, pray. Tommy's got a six-string and hockey. Now he's holding in, though he used to make it talk so tough, so tough. Gina dreams of running away, and she cries in the night, but Tommy whispers, baby, it's okay. Someday we gotta hold on to what we've got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We've got each other, and that's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot. Oh, we're halfway there. Live it up, pray, take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Live it up, pray. Hold on. It's the first time I've ever done that, or heard that done with just a piano. We listened to it on the way here, and all the guitars and everything. That's a very different arrangement, but I'll be late. So, in the 80s, one of my big musical influences was Broadway. Shocker, right? And there were some fantastic Broadway musicals in the 80s. You think about just a couple of them. Les Mis opened in the 80s. Phantom of the Opera opened in the 80s. And there was another show that opened in the 80s, and one of its songs made it into the radio airwaves. People played it. It was probably one of the top hits of one of the years at least. And it went something like this. One night in Bangkok, and the world's your oyster. Anybody remember that from hearing it on the radio? One Night in Bangkok. That was a Broadway song. It was from Chess. We're not doing that one though. We're doing another song from Chess. And I actually had never heard it or done it until Jay said, well, why don't we do this other one? So if you are familiar with it, great. If not, maybe it's a new song for you to hear. Who needs a dream? Who needs ambition? Who'd be a fool in my position? Once I had dreams, now they're obsessions.
will they move in? Oh, so discreetly, slowly at first, smiling too sweetly. I opened doors, they walked right through them, called me their friend. I hardly knew them. Now I'm where I want to be and who I want to be and doing what I always said I would, and yet I feel I haven't won it all. We're running for my life and never looking back in case of someone right behind us shooting out and saying he always knew I'd fall. When this crazy wheel slows down, where will I be? Back where I started. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. Times have been good, fast, entertaining. But what's the point if I'm conceived